Hi scholars, I hope you're doing well. Today we have a math lesson. We had a little trouble with our last math problem solving lesson, so we're going to do a similar one today. Okay, so let's start with our learning goals for today. I can make sense of a problem. I can explain my thinking, and I can solve a subtraction word problem by using objects or drawings or both. Okay, so now that we know what our learning goals are, let's start. So today's problem story is about someone in our class visiting the park. So let's read it. Hope you can see that. I know, I'm being creative, guys, so I can come close. Daniel went to the park and visited the pond. So that's a body of water, remember? He saw 8 frogs on a log. Some jumped into the water, and now he only sees 5. So our question that we need to solve for today is, how many frogs jumped into the water? Okay, great. So let's first try to make sense of this story before we problem solve. So who is this story about? Daniel. And where did Daniel go? To the park. Now, while he was at the park, he went to a specific place. Where did he go? It says he visited the pond. Good, so we looked at the text and we see that he went to go visit the pond. Fue al agua. Now, he saw 8 frogs on a log. So this story is about what animals? Frogs. Good. How many frogs? 8. Great. Now, what did some of the frogs do? Let's keep reading. Some jumped into the water. Okay, so there were 8, and some of these jumped into the water. Maybe they wanted to cool down, or they wanted to get some fish to eat, or maybe they just wanted to swim and exercise. So some of these 8 jumped into the water. And now he only sees 5 on the log. So how many jumped into the water? That is our question that we're solving for today. So how many of those 8 frogs jumped into the water? Okay, so first I will go through my thinking about solving for this story. And then that way, when it's your homework time and you have your own numbers with this same story, you're able to solve as well. Okay, so I'll start with my drawing today. Now, I know that in the story it says Daniel went to the park. So here's a visual of a park. Daniel went to the park. He saw 8 frogs on a log. Okay, so first I'm going to draw 8 frogs on this log. Let's do that. Now, I already drew them for you. Okay, help me count 8 frogs on a log. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Great. Okay, so we have 8 frogs on a log. Some jumped into the water. Now, we don't know how many jumped into the water. So let's keep that in mind when we're trying to problem solve. Now, if some of them go away into the water, what type of math are we using? We're using subtraction. So remember in our last lesson of problem solving, we also used subtraction. And remember, subtraction means you are taking something away. And we use the minus symbol for that. So we're going to be taking away some frogs and putting them in the water. We're using subtraction for that. Okay, so I'll keep this here so we remember. Keep that in the forefront of our minds, scholars, so that we don't forget. We're putting some in the water. Now, let's write down some information that we already know. We know there's 8, right? Correct. There's 8 in the water. So let's write 8 first. There were 8 frogs in the water. Oh, I like that view, okay? So there's 8 of those frogs first. And I see the 8 in the problem story. Now, some jumped into the water, but we don't know how many. Now, we know minus means take them away. Do we know how many jumped inside the water? We don't know that number yet. So I'm going to put a box. We need to find that missing number to answer our question for today. Now, last it says he only saw 5 frogs left. So we're going to put equals, and last he only saw 5 frogs. Okay, so here's our equation to help us out. You can look at the problem story and you can look at the picture. There were 8 frogs. Habían 8 ranas. Some of them jumped in the water. Algunas brincaron al agua. Last, Daniel only saw 5. Al última solamente habían 5. So we're solving for the missing numeral. Tenemos que encontrar cuántos brincaron en el agua. Okay, so I said that in Spanish, so in case your mom and dad are helping you problem solve today, they know the story, because that's the first thing we need to know. We need to understand the story and the words in the text, okay? So, let's do that with Miss Aguirre's story. Oh, I'll leave this here so you can remember that. 8 minus what number is equal to 5? So, all right, I know this is tricky, but you mathematicians can do it. Okay, ready? Here we go. So we have 8, and some of them jumped in the water, and then we're only going to have 5. So here I go. Okay, I put 1 in the water. Now, is that 5? 2, no, that's 7. Okay, we're going to put another one in the water. Is that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, not 5 yet. Okay, we're going to do another one jumping in the water. Is that 5 left on the log? Let's see, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, great. So, we had 8. Now he only sees 5 on the log. So, how many? Let's look at our problem question. How many jumped in the water? What is that number over there? 3. Great. So how many jumped into the water, guys? 3. So we solved for the missing numeral. Now, when we write our answers today at home, when you finish your work, you can write for me 3 jumped in the water. And now I answered the question. How many frogs jumped in the water? 3 jumped in the water. Okay, so for today's work, you can grab any piece of paper, write your name. You can solve by drawing a picture, doing an equation, using a number line, or doing part whole. So you can find the missing numbers if you break it up. So if I had 8, 8 is made of 5 and 3. And those two numbers together make 8. Great. So hoy, para hacer su historia, por favor, usen una foto, una oración de números o la línea de números para buscar qué número falta y cuántas ranas se brincaron al agua. Okay? All right, so for your problem story today, I know you can do it because you are so smart. So I'm not going to give you the same numbers like Miss Aguirre, but you are going to have the same word problem. Now, why am I doing that? Because I know you mathematicians out there in your house are very savvy. So I'm going to change up your numbers. A ustedes les voy a cambiar los números para que lo hagan en casa. Okay, scholar, so here is your problem story that I want to see for today. Daniel went to the park and he visited the pond. He saw 7 frogs on a log. Some jumped into the water, and now he only sees 4. How many frogs jumped into the water? Muy bien. So, ahora es su turno. Daniel fue al parque, fue a visitar el lago, miró 7 ranas, algunas se brincaron al agua y al último solamente miró 4 en el palo. ¿Cuántas ranas se brincaron al agua? Okay, so when you finish, remember, take a picture or a video and let me know how you're doing. Okay, see you later, scholars.